Do you think it should be legal for the terminally ill to try risky, non-FDA approved treatments?
I mean, I don't think every person knows what goes behind like FDA testing.
If they really need it and that's the only option, I think it should be legal to save a life.
They're not approved by the FDA, they're not safe.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what we're told.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is it's your life. If you want to try, if you want to try anything, you know how it could end. Do it. It's your life.
The FDA is cautious. They aim never to release an unsafe drug, as they did with the birth defect-causing thalidomide. But caution takes time the very ill may not have. The longer the FDA takes to approve a drug, the longer sick people must wait to use it. Though taking an unapproved drug may be risky, not taking a potential cure is also risky. Look at this chart. Sometimes the FDA is so cautious that it delays approving drugs that turn out to be life-saving, including drugs that have already been approved for use in other industrialized countries. That caution can kill. That caution means thousands of people die waiting for the FDA to act. It's an admittedly difficult trade-off, so I asked students on my campus what they think about this problem.
Hello.
I'm Howard.
Maria.
Maria? Amr?
Yes.
Amr and?
Matt.
And Matt.
Yeah.
What's your name, miss?
Cecilia.
Should it be legal for the terminally ill to try risky, non-FDA approved treatments?
In the end, it's that person's choice. Like, for example, if I was sick and I want to be treated, I would take it.
I feel like they shouldn't be able to use it if it's not approved, because if it's not approved, it doesn't sound too healthy.
I mean, I guess they are like dying, but what if it makes it worse?
If the patient is aware that they are dying and this is a last-ditch effort, I see no reason to prevent them from receiving medical care.
Well, I happen to have a immune deficiency disorder.
Oh, really?
And if that was presented to me and I was at a terminally ill point in my life, I think I should be allowed to not only choose my treatment, but choose that if I wanted to end my life,
Yeah.
like Oregon offers.
Right.
I think it's absolutely the
Right.
individual's discretion.
What's your feeling about the fact that you can't?
I'm all for government regulation and intervention when I think it could pose a health crisis to other people. And my decision affects other people and other people of the country and other citizens, but if it's only affects me and my and consequences involved in my life, then it should, should be out of the hands.
People should be informed.
Yes.
So it's like, it should be legal, but as long as the person's informed, then it should be up to them.
I think if a treatment that we found is like working, maybe in other countries, the FDA should probably try to test it out.
In my opinion, they're going to die. They should be able to do whatever they want. It doesn't bother me if they, an old woman with terminal cancer was smoking cannabis, or if it was some experimental drug, clinical trial, or anything like that.
I say yes.
Say yes? Okay, Jelly votes yes. And Becca is still thinking.
I'm gonna vote no, because a patient doesn't really know everything that goes into a drug, and their doctor should be the one to tell them whether it's for them or not.
I think if they're terminally ill, then they should definitely be able to try the risky, non-FDA approved treatments, because that might be the only chance that they have to live.
What was interesting, too, was how their responses changed when we revealed the second board hidden behind the first. Check this out. Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Yes.
How about this one? How about people that aren't terminally ill, but they're sick, and they also want to try a non-FDA approved treatment? Should they be allowed to do that or not?
No, not at all.
That's a tough one.
No, I'd say yes to this one.
You'd say yes to this
I
one?
actually have a question for this one.
I want to say yes, but at the same time, I feel like the FDA does a lot of good work to keep things that aren't safe from getting to consumers.
Let's say you're not that sick and they say, you know, the FDA approved this and it helps you, but maybe you've done your own research and you say, I don't like some of these side effects. There's a promising new drug, or they don't have this side effect.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of on the fence about it. I can go with yes, yeah.
All right. Why would you deny terminally ill patients the choice, but allow just sick people the choice?
I don't know, maybe it's because I have more of a personal connection to this, because when my uncle had brain cancer, he couldn't try things that weren't FDA approved, and that could have saved him. So I feel like there's more of a chance with this to be saved, and with that, you're gonna die anyway, so why should it be legal to try something that's not been tested?
To me, terminally ill and sick is like two way different things, because if you're terminally ill, then I can't really recover from that. If you're sick, there's always a time in the future where you can.
All right, so you're a no on that one.
You said they're not terminally ill, so
Just
isn't
sick.
there, okay, so but isn't there medication already then? So
Yeah, I suppose there are various medications, but there's some other, the medications aren't doing so well for them, and there's something else that maybe a pharmaceutical company is testing that looks promising. They say, well, I'd like to try that, but it's not approved yet.
But will this medication still have like the same risk as this one? Like, will it still be?
Yeah, let's assume it's just as risky because we don't know what the side effects are.
I say if the patient, you know, and discusses it with the doctor and they know like the risks and stuff like that, and if they are consenting, I would say they should have the right to consent to what they want to consent to.
They know the risk before they even take it.
I mean, they're not terminally ill though. Like, they can still survive without the treatment.
Yeah, they could probably survive with it.
You don't know that, 'cause it's not FDA approved.
I think they should be able to try
Yeah.
it.
Well, how does it make you feel that they can't now?
I guess, you know, I'm kind of desensitized to, you know, people being not allowed to do things and exercise what they want to do.
Yeah. Students on my campus have very diverse views on letting individuals test drugs for themselves. This shouldn't be surprising. We all view risk differently. Moreover, each individual would weigh the situation differently if he or she or a loved one had to choose between the risk of taking an experimental drug and the risk of losing the fight with disease. Both choices are risky. Should we have a one-size-fits-all policy for Americans about this trade-off? What role should individual choice play? Got an opinion? Join the conversation at Learn Liberty. We'd love to hear from you.